Elephant Room, thanks for taking the time to walk from the street, down the stairs, into our humble little basement. You'll be glad you did. Tonight we have one of the finest bands that we're lucky enough to work with. If you know them, you know this. If you don't, you will. Please put your hands together for the Austin Jazz Band.
Well, good evening. Thank you for coming down to the Elephant Room. How many of you, is this the first time for anybody down here? Oh, fantastic, right in the front row. We call it the splash zone, so be careful about that. Yeah, it takes us a while to get squeezed into this place with all the, I don't know, 18, 19 of us back there. But I've got the best seat in the house over you guys because I get to stand right in front. We are the Austin Jazz Band. We've been in existence for almost as long as the Elephant. Back in, I think the first two numbers were 19 something. Anyway, it has been our pleasure to have a residency here for a long time. And so the last Monday of every month, most of the time, we're going to be here. So we appreciate you being out here. A couple of rules at the Elephant. Your servers do an incredible job while we're blasting away, hearing your drink orders and everything else. So don't forget about them in your tipping. And then also, there seems to be confusion sometimes as to where the ladies' restroom or where the men's restroom is. The ladies' restroom is over there. So you have to walk all the way in front of the band to get to the restroom. So I don't know if that was designed by the original designers, but the guys appreciate it. Anyway, and the men's restroom is over that way. All right, that first tune was called Origin, Sonny Rollins tune. And that was a Bill Holman arrangement. And that featured Aiden Brown over there on the tenor saxophone. And we're going to slow things down and feature Mr. Sid Polk on the baritone sax. And this is a wonderful tune written by Bob Florence called Bluephoria. Sid Cole on the baritone sax.
How are you? I got your number, pretty much.
He plays so many notes because it takes that many to fill up that big horn. Great. Fantastic work. Okay, we're going to feature a bunch of people on this next one.
I'll see
This is
you.
a tune written by Willie Maiden for the
Frank,
Maynard
so you don't have to
Ferguson
work too
Band
hard.
way back when. Another one in the middle of the 20th century. A long time ago. But this one is going to feature both our tenor saxophones, Aidan Brown, whom you've already heard from, and Tab Barker here. And then we're also going to hear from two of our great trombone soloists. We have Dylan Buell and Neil Woods. And this is a tune that features all four of them kind of at the same time called Tag Team.
What's that? It's always a pleasure. You been singing a bunch? Otherwise? Yeah. That's cool.
All right, let's hear it for our dueling tenors and our dueling trombones. And it's very appropriate that Neil started with the wedding march because his son got married just a couple of weeks ago. The last one out of the bunch, right? Yep. All right, and that was a whole lot of notes for that horn too, Aiden. My goodness. We are going to bring up a wonderful, wonderful guest. I haven't seen her arrive yet, so hopefully she'll be.
She's hiding in the corner.
Oh, there she's hiding in the corner. But we're going to bring her right out front and center. This is Shalane, and she's got a song to share with you.
This is a dramatic one to start with. Ooh. It really is. Nice to see a full elephant room. Thank you all for being here with us on a Monday. Ooh, we could turn down to move like this. Maybe. Thanks. Just to prove you do, go on and cry me a river, cry me a river, 'cause I cried a river over you. Nearly drove me out of my head, while you never shed a tear. Remember, I remember all Thank you so much. Such a treat to sing with a gorgeous band, the Austin Jazz Band.
Thank you, Shane. Very nice, very nice. Oh, thank you. I hope you like the arrangement. Was the arrangement good? I have no idea if we would have done anything like that. We have a lot of very talented musicians up here that they keep all of us on our toes. But I want to start introducing some of them to you. We'll start with the saxophone section. On lead alto, we have Dexter Zabriskie. And the founding father and brains behind the Austin Jazz Band, way back when we started it in the 1900s, was Steve Fleckman here on second alto. Next to him on tenor is Aiden Brown. And over here on second tenor is Tab Barker. And of course you've heard from Sid over there on the baritone saxophone. Okay, we're going to feature a lot of those guys and more in this next tune. This is a Thelonious Monk tune that he wrote with Coltrane called Saida's Song Flute. I have no idea. We'll find out together.
Can it work for you?
Yeah.
Song too. There it is. Yeah, great tune. Great tune. And somebody soloist, wonderful job. Okay, we're now going to introduce the trombone section. We've got Steve Seitsinger on lead trombone. You've heard from Dylan Buell. We played that great solo in the last tune. Neil Woods right next to Steve. And another one of our Austin Jazz Band members who's been here since the first 19th century, no, not 19th century, 1900s rehearsals. That's David Borland on the trombone. And on the bass trombone, shaking the rafters, there is Mark Haas. Okay, we're going to bring Shalane back up here for another tune. And this is a tune that was originally written by George Shearing, one of the greatest piano players ever and a great writer. And never saw a note because he was blind, but the music he created was unbelievable. So if you get a chance to watch some videos of George Shearing, it's just incredible. And this is one of his famous tunes called, that Shalane's going to sing for you, called Lullaby of Birdland.
And there's a weepy old willow. He really knows how to cry. That's how I cry in my pillow. If you should tell me farewell and goodbye, lullaby a birdman whisper low. Kiss me sweet, then we'll go. Lullaby a birdman high in the sky up above. With love. And there's a weeping old willow. He really knows how to cry. That's how I cry in my pillow. If you should tell me farewell and goodbye, lullaby a birdman whisper low. Then you'll go. High, birdman, high in the sky up above. Thank you, I love that tune.
Shalane. All right, stick around. Shalane's going to be back with us in a little bit here. We got some more tunes and things. That was Sid Polk on the baritone saxophone. And that little section was an homage to both Jerry Mulligan and of course to George Shearing, who wrote the tune, because I took his lines that he played on one of his recorded solos, and the band played those lines and then traded forth with the very sax. It's very esoteric, and you can impress your friends with that when you get home. All right. Who haven't I introduced yet? I haven't introduced the trumpet section back there. We have Mr. Steve Butts up there on lead trumpet. Rachel Spencer up there too. You heard her playing those great solos in Crimea River. She's going to have more. So we've got Rachel up there, and we've got Steve Adamo over there playing the third trumpet from our lead. And another one of our founding members that's been with the band for forever, we have David Cross over there. And David also manages our music library, so he's indispensable. Back in the rhythm section, we've got Russ Reno on guitar there. You heard from him on Saida's concert. David Winkler on the piano back there. You're going to hear a lot from him on this next tune. Back there on the bass, also did a great solo on Saida's song flute, Mr. Chris Watrous. And yes, we have a drummer. You can't see him, but you can hear him. That's Walt Brewer back there. There's Walt. Okay, we've got one more tune to play for you before we take a break. There's a couple of reasons why we programmed this tune now, is it's a great closer for a set, but we also play it before the band gets to the bar, because the tune is pretty difficult. The tune, it's in multimeters, so you've got some measures, you've got alternating measures of 12/8 and 10/8. So you basically have a phrase of 22 beats. So you see the guys taking off their shoes, we're trying to count all those 22 numbers. In any event, we never make it, do we? But sometimes the measures are in 12 and 10 and 8 and different things. but it's a crazy piece. We're going to feature Dexter Zabriskie on the alto solo here. And this is a tune that Pat Metheny wrote. A lot of bands have recorded this arrangement and played it. It's kind of a rite of passage for bands that have taken that next step. And so it's a beautiful arrangement by Bob Kurnow. He's a Los Angeles guy and a fairly good friend. And he writes great music. And this is his arrangement of Pat Metheny's First Circle. Okay, I see that. Thank you so much. Give us about 20 minutes. We'll be back with another set. Thank you.